Do you have any thoughts on Constellation Software? They are one of the best performing stocks on the TSX. Their management philosophy reminds me of Warren Buffett's focused, disciplined, and long term oriented. The company is riding the secular growth trend of vertical market software, or VMS, which provides niche, mission critical solutions to specific industries with a strategy of acquiring and growing small, high quality software businesses.
It's been a while since we've reviewed Constellation Software, and it's a great company. And in fact, in a market that really blew itself up a few years ago, as the low or zero interest rate era came to an end a few years ago, the software industry needs more Constellation softwares. This is what landed us where we are today with cybersecurity. We said private equity was going to mop up in the aftermath, and that's what's been happening. A lot of acquisitions of small startups. And then, of course, the biggest players that have remained financially nimble, like CrowdStrike, Palo Alto Networks, and Fortinet, and so on. They've also been scooping up lots of those little tiny niche cybersecurity startups for pennies on the dollar. Much the same can happen elsewhere in the software industry. And Constellation Software is a great example of that. It's not a strategy that sits well with everybody, but this kind of what got us in Shift 4 as well. They're taking a similar approach, but with digital payments, which is really just a software industry at the end of the day, with a different pricing model other than subscriptions or other revenue. We think Constellation and companies like that will do very, very well this coming decade as more software businesses come to terms with the fact that getting started in software is really easy. It's not particularly hard to raise cash if you have a good software idea, but that cash is much more expensive than it used to be. And because of rapid changes in accelerated computing, it is getting harder to develop software where you can carve out your little niche. Partnering with someone who's already well entrenched and has maybe a good process for getting up and running and turning profitable as quickly as possible will be a really great luxury for software companies. Remember that software is a product. Sometimes it's made for businesses, sometimes it's made for consumers, but at the end of the day, it's at the top of the economic hierarchy. It's a very big market and there's lots of competition. When markets get bigger, the competition ramps up, and especially when there's potential for big profit. But times are getting tougher for some of these businesses. It's time for them to grow up financially. And if they can partner with someone who has a good framework for that, that will be a really good thing. So companies like this, Constellation and Topicus, if they can prove the worth of their framework, that's going to be a good place to be.